Okay, so it's listening and speaking time. So giving advice and making suggestion is our topic today. So we will be learning how are you going to give advice and make suggestions, okay, to someone. So how are we going to say it? Now look, class, we often want to tell people to do things. We sometimes need to speak strongly to them with words like should or even must. Be careful, must is very strong. So this is an unhealthy diet. You should avoid it. You have to develop a regular time to sleep. This is bad for your body, so you mustn't do it. You must not do it. Okay, so these are just example of giving advices or suggestion. Now, however, it is open better class to speak more gently and suggest things for people to do. Why not, do the quiz and find out. What about walking for an hour every day? You could start playing football or volleyball. You'd better go and see the doctor. So these are just are way of more gently of giving suggestions to people. Now, how can I give advice? So this may be your question. Teacher, how can I give advice? So you can give advice to someone, okay? So we will be learning today how. Now, let's have this activity 1. Okay, so what do you see in the picture, class? There are people around, maybe friends of the person who is very ill or who's sick. So these are, people's suggestions. So they use you'd better not go to school today. And someone says, you'd better stay in bed. So they are what? They are giving advice to the person who is ill or who's sick. Okay, another person also said, you'd better take this medicine. You'd better not try to get up. So these are advices, or suggestions to someone who is ill. Now, let's have another activity. Okay, so can you read? Please read. Okay, so the use of should or should not, or in contraction of should not is shouldn't, or the strong form must or must not. Okay, so what can you advise? Let's practice. What will you advise to someone who feel really tired? Okay, like Teacher Mina. Teacher Mina is really really tired. So what advices you can give, or what suggestion you can give using you shouldn't or you should? Okay, who wants to try? Must, using must or must not. Okay, that's your homework. So you will do, or you can make a suggestions of someone who feel really tired. So for strong advice, you should is used to say what is the right thing or a good thing to do. Now take a look at the picture, class. So what do you think they are talking about? So someone is asking advice, to someone. He said, I'm always tired. And what's the suggestion or what's the advice? You should go to bed earlier. So this is an example of an advice to someone who's tired. You shouldn't to say that it's not a good thing to do or it's not the right thing. Okay, like example, take a look at the picture. What do you think is happening in the picture? Okay, so what is the scenario all about in this picture? So the dad, maybe the one is telling to his children, you shouldn't play with lighters. Okay, now why? Okay, what other advice can you give to the children? Now for strong advice, you can also use need to. So when we say need to, class, to say what is necessary, and you can use as imperative. So what is imperative again? It's a command, right? It's not a suggestion anymore, but it's in a form of a command. So how will you say it? You need to eat all your food. So usually mammies do like that, say like that. So you need to. So the use of you need to is a strong advice for kids. Eat all your food. So that's an imperative. Now, using the expressions, why don't you, and it's a good idea too, is to make suggestions. So they are usually softer or gentler than should and need to. So that's the difference. So take a look at the next picture. So what do you think? Okay, the man is suggesting to the driver, why don't you pull over? Okay, now using could, okay, use could to make a suggestion or to say what is possible or a good idea. We could, example, we could create more programs. It's a good idea to keep your word. So that is what? It's a possible or a good suggestion. Now your turn, class. So I've got a cold. What can I do? Okay, so what will you advise to the person who has a cold? So write it down, your answer. Okay, next one. Okay, I've got a cold. What can I do? So the example of suggestion here, you should go to the doctor. Or you might say, how about going to the doctor? So it's in a question form. Or you can say, if I were you, I would go to the doctor. Now let's see if you know how to give advice. So this, I will give example of scene. Okay, take a look at this. I'm not good at sports. So what advice will you tell to that man who said, I'm not good at sport? I get bad grades. I'm always late. I drink too much soda. I don't have many friends. I eat too much candy. I'm tired all the time. I can't sleep at night. I want to buy this house. Take a look at the house. Do you think you will advise to the person to go on or pursue buying that house? Okay, I spend too much time at the computer. I'm hungry. So what advice will you tell to the man who's hungry? I want a new car, but I don't have enough money. I'm cold. Okay, so let's have a practice. So I want you, class, to finish the sentence. You complete the sentences 1 to 6 using the word you should plus a verb to complete the sentences. Okay, when you play tennis, you what? Is it a should or what? Okay, so this is your work. So after you're done doing this, you can send to me in KakaoTalk. You may screenshot this, class. Okay, so don't have to and must not. So what will you use in here? You blank, leave your phone there. Someone might take it. So who will answer this one, class? Who can complete the sentence? Okay, are you going to use don't have to or must not? You don't have to leave your phone there. Someone might take it. Is that correct? Or, okay, which one is better? You must not leave your phone there. Someone might take it. So, which one will do to complete the sentence? Who said don't have to or who said must not? Okay, the correct answer is must not. Okay, next one. You blank play with fire. You will get burned. You don't have to play with fire. You will get burned. Or you must not play with fire. You will get burned. Okay, it must be must not because that's very scary. Okay, dangerous thing. Okay, this our example of using must and must not. She must be in bed because she has the flu. Jack must brush his teeth before going to bed. Now, when are we going to use must, class? Okay, when you're telling an obligation or you're giving a strong advice. And for must not, of course, that's a negative. Okay, that is for prohibition. So when we say prohibition, meaning it's a no-no. Okay, prohibit means not allowed. Peter must not sleep during the class. Junki or Hannah must not sleep during the class. Okay, you must not smoke. So that is a prohibition, meaning what? Not allowed. Okay, how about this? Let's see. Okay, is this a prohibition or a strong suggestion? Sam must or must not watch TV for so many hours. Okay, so that is what? Must not. Okay, next one. Andrew blank wash his hand before meals. Okay, is it a must or must not? Of course, it's a must. Okay, that's an obligation or a responsibility. Andrew must wash his hand before meals. Next one, Tim must or must not be careful with his school materials. It's a responsibility. So, Tim must be careful with his material. Okay, so it's your job now. Okay, fill the blanks with must or must not. Kate is ill, so she must see a doctor. Okay, you must not throw litter on the floor. You what? Must not make noise in the library. It is raining, so we must take our umbrellas. This is a secret. You must tell and you must not tell anybody. We must hurry or we will be late for the English class. You must eat fruit and vegetable. It is good for your health. The baby is sleeping. You must not shout. You must study for the test. And last, you must walk or you must not walk on the grass. So that is prohibition. Now, class, okay, your homework or your activity, you're going to write a letter giving advice. But how are you going to write a letter to give advice? So this is an example. Read, okay? Let's read the letter. Dear Mr. M, I'm 17 years old and I have a serious problem with my parents. I have a lot of arguments with them because they get angry at me for talking with my friends on the phone. They say that I'm talking on my phone to my friends, interrupt my studying on weekdays evenings, and that I don't do my schoolwork by making these unnecessary phone calls. How can I persuade them that I need my friends and that they are wrong? Okay, so what you're going to do, class, you give reply and answer to this letter from a desperate teenager. You give an advice. So what will you going to advise to this desperate teenager? So that's your homework. You write an advice to this student. Okay, so that's all for today. Okay, God bless you. So I hope you can write an advice to this person. Or, okay, you may, okay, take a look at this idea. How are you going to write? So what style of letter would you write? how would start your letter, what's the purpose of your letter, so how would you finish your letter, what problem does desperate teenager face. So you have to, okay, consider these questions when you're writing. Okay, so how to plan the letter, make sure that you have introduction, make the purpose of your letter, and you have to point what are points that you're going to write about. Okay, what will you give you advice? So in paragraph, give your advice to help him or her solve the problems. Okay, so and then you can add some more advice. And of course, don't forget your conclusion, like this one. Hope everything will be fine. And okay, so are you ready to write your advice? So make sure that you have all like dear, okay, and then your introduction, and then having read your problem in, so you can use this useful phrases, okay, to make your writing better. So that's all. God bless you.